Yes, when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly. Guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
Wednesday, July 1st, the free agent pool is open for swimming, and Sports 1440 has the perfect man to dive in. Join Lowetide from 10 till 1 as he explores the depths of free agency with special guests and live insights. Powered by Booster Juice. No water wings required.
Think a quality golf cart is out of your budget? Think again. At the Golf Cart People, we have a fantastic selection of fully inspected, pre-owned carts starting at just $4,500. Choose from gas, electric, or lithium-ion power to fit your lifestyle. And the best part, every used cart comes with a 1-year warranty for total peace of mind. Why wait? Get the cart you've always wanted today. Visit the Golf Cart People. Find out more at golfcartpeople.com.
We just dropped a massive payload at NISQ 4. It's time to unload some deals at the Truckload of Savings event. If you've been waiting to upgrade, we've backed up the savings with unbeatable offers on our toughest Ford. Right now, haul away exactly what you need and take advantage of massive price drops across our entire lineup, including the legendary Ford F-150 for the job site or the weekend getaway. Shop the Truckload of Savings at nisq4.ca. NISQ Ford, above expectations.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Oilers have Mike Babcock to coach, now need to trade Darnell Nurse and find a goalie. There's a lot to do. Plus, NHL trade market is fire. Canadian men play at the World Cup, and we say goodbye to Kevin Karius, as he calls it a career, and I imagine he'll be gardening by 1:30 this afternoon. The Lowdown with Lowetide brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 Sierra 1500 models. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. As I mentioned, we're on YouTube, Sports 1440. We're also on iHeartRadio, Radio Player Canada, sports1440.ca. Our headliner of the day is Kevin McCurdy at 1 o'clock today. We also have declinations after the show. We're on Apple and Spotify podcast, on Twitter at Lowetide, Declan Krueger, J Fenwick 04. You can text us now or anytime at 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. The introductions, I'm going to a little bit on Karius, and then we're going to get right to the show. It won't take long, I promise you, but these are important things. He is ready to break down all of the NHL and NBA trades in the last 30 hours, but we'll need 1 hour and a lot of props. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick, everybody.
Do I ever use props on this show? I don't think I have.
No, I keep expecting you to draw a face on your hand and do that.
And do this one.
Right now,
co-host today.
Your cap looks like you may work for some kind of government agency.
Yeah, well, it's blacked out, but it does say Sports 1440 on it.
Nice.
I forget the information on how to get it. I think you could email Marty. I think. I don't remember. If he's listening, he'll send me an email with the information. Right. I can pass that along.
So everybody out there knows Marty's email address.
No, but I don't want to just like dox him and then it be you come to the door and you can buy a hat for $20 or whatever.
This show is as prepared as we've ever been. He's already ready to break down all of the NHL and NBA trades in the last 30 hours, except it's one trade, and he needs both hours. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger, everybody.
It's true. There was one that was a little bit bigger than the others.
Jordan Kyrou, I agree. Lowetide's guy.
Hey, I was hoping, and yet, it was obvious the Oilers did not have that, right? They just didn't have that. They didn't have that much to do it, but man, it would have been a great trade, I have to say. All right, I think that anybody who has been in radio broadcast media for more than 6 minutes knows that there are some difficulties in life. And one of them is when you go from one discipline to the other. I could never, and trust me, I'm sure you already do, I could never, ever, ever do television as well as Kevin Karius. And by the time he was done radio, I couldn't do that as well either. Obviously, we're going to miss him a lot. Sports 1440 sent out a lovely media avail, and it talked to, Jason Krueger had quotes on it. Karius said some really nice things, and he just wanted to add, because he didn't get a chance, he thought of it afterwards, but he said he wanted to thank everybody, but especially Alan Mitchell for his hard work, dedication, and making me happy every day, and also writing all of my jokes. So Kevin, you're welcome. Thank you for that public, display of your loyalty to me and your trust in me. I really appreciate it. Karius is, I think he's an unusual guy in that I don't think he's ever been different than the guy you hear on the radio. And certainly he wasn't in television. People love him. I've never met anybody who didn't think the world of Kevin. And we love him because, he set the stage for every day that we came in here. We could tune in and he had already done all the prep. And it's hard because the morning show is the most important show of the day. It's also the one that you got to get in the middle of the night to do. And certainly his, it started at 7. So middle of the night was 5, but it's still early. He did a phenomenal job. He had great help, Eddie Steele and others. They're just big time helpers, but we're going to miss him because he's such a great guy, a genuinely kind and good human. I'm going to have to raid his garden now instead of getting, free stuff. That hurts. You guys want to add anything to saying goodbye to Kevin Karius today?
Yeah, sure. I'll go. I'm lucky enough to work with Kevin every day, Monday to Friday. Really, really nice dude. I've learned a lot from him. Endless amount of stories on the mic, off the mic, and funny in his own brain. Not to me, but he's funny in his own brain.
But he also surprised the laughter. So that's good, right?
Yeah. But hey, you know what? We're going to miss him around here. I'm going to miss, oh, how you doing, Josh? Every morning when I walk in here. So yeah, Kevin, good dude, will be missed.
Yeah. Declan, did you want to add anything, or did you even meet him?
In brief passing, he called me Dylan for like 3 years, but it's cool. No, I'm just kidding. No, listen, I thought he, coming from TV to radio, obviously an incredibly tough transition, and he handled it with the utmost professionalism because he was the utmost professional. I really, really liked his show. I thought he did such a great job. I thought him and Brandon had such incredible chemistry. I just loved everything they built over 3 years. And I'm going to be honest, I was surprised, but I was also upset when I heard he was retiring. And I understand that he's been doing this for 36 years. He wants to move on, wants to get to the next stage of his life. But I was legitimately upset when I found out he was retiring. So obviously all the best to him. And yeah, it's just been a pleasure to be around him and be part of it with him.
I will tell you, I've been in media a long time, and it is goodbye, but there's every chance he's going to decide that he wants to grow more tomatoes, buy a hothouse, hydroponics, get it all together, tire of the work, and be back here to pay for the hothouse and the hydroponics. I'm just saying, it's never over in radio until it's absolutely over. It just isn't.
Well, I can literally speak to that because he will be around every once in a while if we need bodies to fill in or things. Okay. He'll be coming in, maybe a co-host every now and then. But yeah,
did he ever run the board at all?
No.
Okay, good, because I don't think it's a good idea to let the old people. The old should not be near the board.
Well, he picked up the hosting of a radio show so fast. Maybe he could pick up the producing of a radio show fast.
I mean, you've got a good point there. All right. Yesterday, I thought we did a really good job of breaking down the media avail. After a night of mulling and pondering, I think that it was like 2 media avails. I think the next 2 coaches that we're going to watch lead the Edmonton Oilers into battle were on the podium. And it'll be interesting to see how this year goes. I have been racking my brain trying to remember because I listened to the whole media avail and I read everything I could afterwards. Did we get a length of Mike Babcock's contract?
So not reported, but Jason on his show replied to a texter and said he guesses it's 3 years.
Okay. So there's the kind of length you'd want. Because somebody said, it's only a year. And I'm like, I don't think Babcock would sign for a year. You know, the odds of them, you know, there is a bounce you get with a new coach coming in. And I'll use the New York Yankees as an example. They used to have just a real kind gentleman named Bob Lemon who would be their manager. And then Lemon wouldn't be effective after winning the World Series, so they'd fire him, and they'd bring in Billy Martin, who is a firebrand. He was absolutely like gung-ho. He'd get after the umpires, and the cleanup hitter didn't matter to him. He was all confrontation. And when Billy would manage well, they win the World Series, he'd be back for another year. When he faltered, they'd fire him and bring in Bob Lemon. Those two men played ping pong forever. There is such a thing of bringing in a hard ass after, you know, a softer kind of coach and having that bounce occur. So maybe we see that this year, but I think that Mike Babcock in a 1-year run, like on a 1-year contract, that would be unusual. So we'll assume that it's around 3 years. Darnell Nurse, there's all kinds of rumors about where he might be going. Somebody was saying, you know, Anaheim, I don't think it'll be there, more likely the East Coast. I was interested in the conversation yesterday about, you know, how much they liked him and how much they thought he would fit into the new plan. I still think he's gone. Just the money would be too tight to keep him at this point in time. So where we are now with Darnell Nurse is still in limbo. But if you're the Edmonton Oilers and you want to make a move that involves either signing or acquiring a player, you'd like to have that done before July 1st when all hell will break loose. And I say that with the understanding of the trades that have occurred. So my suspicion is we'll see Nurse dealt, I would say, by the 10th of July, hopefully sooner if you're the Oilers, but it might take a little time for teams to figure out what they're doing and then check down to the trades they're making after their free agent splurges. Any thoughts on Darnell Nurse and trade, or any other kind of trade the Oilers might make or that you have thought up in your brain parts?
Well, Jason made a point on his show yesterday that I just thought was interesting. When, like, because right now the list is 3 teams, or it's believed to be 3 teams: Philly, Pittsburgh, and Boston. Maybe a 4th team in there. But when your list is that small, and when you have, you know, forgive me, a bit of an albatross of a contract, things can be a little bit tougher. So Jason made allusions to the fact, like, listen, if this list doesn't expand and things don't move along, he may be returning to Edmonton come the fall. So I just think that's another thing to kind of ponder, that, because I think in a lot of ways we've already written Darnell Nurse off this team, and I do think he will be moved. And, you know, some of the contracts that came in with Dickinson and Murph, and with some of the moves,
they don't have any money left.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Some of the moves they have, like, they have to make remaining is kind of under the pretense of that 9.25 being off the books. But, you know, I guess we got to also kind of accept there is a world where this doesn't work out, and he's here come the fall.
I think Jake Wallman would have to be dealt, something like that.
It's one, yes.
One of the two of them has to go.
And here's the other thing. I actually think Nurse is easier to move than Wallman.
Well, I think so, because of injury. By the way, Alex Tuck apparently headed to market. Buffalo is, you know, they'd like to have him, but local guy, but the price tag is too much. There's so many rumors going on, man. Just incredible. Are you still happy with your Calgary Flames trade, or do you wish you were the Buffalo Sabres today?
No, I'm definitely still happy with the Calgary Flames trade. I mean, Simone Nemec, my apologies, still young. So coming up with the core fits the timeline, even though the timeline is stupid. But yeah, I still like it. Hopefully he progresses into that number 1 D-man everyone hoped he would be.
I have a friend who's a Flames fan, and he was not all too happy with the trade.
Why not?
Why was thinking?
He said, well, basically he said we have 1 million D-men. And then my other friend asked,
they're really good.
Is Zane Parekh just dead now? And then he said he's a bust, from Marty Gilligan himself, who's in their scouting department. But so is Nemec. Way too much to give up. Griffin Reinhart too, 100%. So listen, I'll leave that with you, Josh, and you, Lowetide. More learned Flames.
I do not want to be in the position of defending the Calgary Flames, but he's not Griffin Reinhart. Yeah, he's just not.
Nobody is. There's only one Griffin Reinhart. I don't think, like, he talked to Martin Gelinas and he was like, oh, he's a bust. Like, this kid's never going to make it. I'm going to have to disagree there. Zane Parekh is such a smooth skater. I think as his career progresses, hopefully
Boy,
he sees the game better.
People are down on this guy,
but he is a smooth.
I would
skater.
trade for him like lickety split.
See, I thought he was being way too harsh on Zane Parekh and Simone Nemec as well. I like Nemec's game, but I would say in regard to Zane Parekh, like at some point there needs to be more to what you do than just being a good skater.
He's 20 years old.
How young
okay,
is this guy?
Darnell Nurse. He's 30. And he's making and he's just a good skater.
If you're bringing up Darnell Nurse, I'm going to defend him. You
Parekh,
have come to the wrong person.
You know what Parekh hasn't done? He hasn't won a Stanley Cup yet. Loser.
He's 20 years old.
Is he only 20?
Yeah,
that's very young.
Everybody has to slow the hell down on these young players. By the way, Jesse Puljujarvi is apparently going to be signing or trying to sign with an NHL team.
Yeah. Well, hey, all the power to him. Anyways, yes, Zane Parekh is still the same age as my sister.
Yeah. So it's all good. It's all good. It'll be fine. It'll all work out. It'll come out in the wash. But I think the downbeat folks on the Flames defense, with respect, I would say not all of them turn out. History tells us that some will be disappointments, but that's a good group they've got there. And I'll give Conway credit, even though I'm on it.
Well, he deserves it. So he's a genius.
LT, do you think Darnell Nurse might end up staying? Here's what I do think. I don't think they can afford, like, if there was a danger Nurse was going to stay, then they can't sign the two guys on July that they did before July 1st. You can't sign Murphy and you can't sign Dickinson to 8.1 combined and then say, okay, we've got 8 players left and we have $8 million. And we can't trade anybody. Because your goalie is going to be less than $1 million, and then most of your, fourth line and at least one defenseman is going to be less than $1 million. You can't. It doesn't make sense. They have to move money, and I mean, I guess you could move farther up the pecking order and ask somebody else to move their no movement clause. But I think this is a power struggle. The Edmonton Oilers have 3 teams. My guess is that it's Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and somewhere else on the East Coast. And when you've got a small market like that, and the market knows that it's small, they're not going to offer you very much. And so the choices for Stan Bowman now are trade Darnell Nurse, retain $4 million, and take Nick Seeler and get $1.5 million. And I know I'm embellishing, but you get the point. Or hold on to him. I'm saying that they put themselves in a spot of bother because they don't have any room to wheel because they've already signed these guys. So Nurse will go. It might be a disappointing return. And maybe what they were talking about earlier about not having to retain anything or not having to retain much, they're going to have to back down on. We're talking about it from the Oilers' point of view. Well, it's going to have to be increased because I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be a year or 8 months because the Oilers can't afford it. The die is cast. They've already started to sign people. They don't have any money left. And if that means making a trade that people look at and go, geez, that didn't work too well, then so be it. Unless you have another guy you can trade, and that would be Jake Wallman. And I think it has to happen before July 1. Is that right? Before his new movement kicks in?
Yeah.
Those no movement clauses, you kids out there, you find a company that gives you a no movement clause and you ride that nag till it drops. That's my advice to you. What happened? Does he want to stay now? Well, no.
Nobody said that.
He said that he's got his 3 teams. He's given them, leeway. Those are the 3 teams he'd go to. Now it's up to the Oilers to make a trade. The 3 teams obviously know the market is small and there's a squeeze going on. This is like me trying to keep Declan from talking about that NBA trade that he wants to talk about.
I'm foaming at the mouth, Lowetide.
I'm just trying to put him off as long as I can, folks. It's going to be a lot. All right. So on the way, we have rumors at the right time today. Thank goodness. And we also have Kevin McCurdy at 1. At 1:40 today, it's Declinations. And I know we're going round ball. I know it's going to be about the Miami Heat. And I can't wait. What's Pat Riley doing now? Did he get called out of stasis for this deal or what?
Well, he would have been the facilitator. So, I mean, credit to him there. He's 80.
Oh, I know he's 80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nuts.
But the good thing is that they seal him like I guess in some kind of like Star Trek bedding, and then they funnel air and water in there, and he doesn't age, so he looks like he did when he was 50.
He looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. And he's obviously able to make some really good trades with some other NBA guys, so that's good too. All right, it's 12:18. Have we said everything we need to say? Canada plays later, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Elks practice. Anything newsworthy out of there?
Brock Mogensen going to be starting for an injured Nick Anderson at the MAC. Luke Burton-Cron, who is their long snapper, one of the best long snappers in the CFL per Coach Killam's estimations, he is out. So Bradley Hladek will be taking that role. And it's a really tough job, by the way. People think of the long snapper as just like, whatever. It's tough. Yeah.
I remember the Rough Riders drafted a guy named Jorgen Hus, I don't know, and he was in the league for 12 years, and all he did was long snap because it's so damn hard. Jameson told me about a guy who'd been retired for 3 years. Their long snapper got hurt, and he went to a Grey Cup and won. This guy had been retired for 3 years because long snappers never, stop learning what they know, and nobody else knows what the hell to do. So it's a very valuable and a very difficult job. All right, it's all straight ahead. Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. Hire Good provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Krueger for a first-time discount. Hire Good. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Our new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more, like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream, all swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
When it comes to sports in Edmonton, Jason Krueger is a must listen. He brings you the inside scoop with guests from across North America. If it matters in sports, you'll hear it here first. Krueger rolls out weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports 1440.
Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club. Fun and friendly with morning rates Monday to Thursday. Just $65 for 18 holes with cart. $55 for seniors. Includes a $5 food voucher for dining at Cattail's Out of Bounds restaurant. There's early bird golf Saturday and Sunday. $50 for 9 holes with cart and snack voucher. 9 and dine Fridays after 4. $130 per pair for 9 holes cart and a $40 Out of Bounds gift card. Plus, Glow Golf every second Friday and bring your dog golfing on Mondays. Visit cattailcrossing.ca.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business. Alberta is growing, but our highways are crumbling. Are you tired of the rough ride? In the last 15 years, our population has grown with hundreds of thousands more cars and trucks on our highways. Today, more than 15% of Alberta's highways are in poor condition. Cutting highway maintenance doesn't save money. It makes repairs more expensive. Don't let the government ignore the problem. Your MLA works for you. Tell them to fix our roads. Visit fixourroads.com for more information.
A message from the Alberta Road Builders and Heavy Construction Association.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. Felt like that song, the guy was trying to find he'd missed a fret or something. It felt like there was another chord change that he wasn't part of.
You're trying to tell Metallica about music?
I'm just saying.
No, I'm just asking.
It felt a little bit repetitive in a way that wasn't good.
That's got to be like top 2 metal songs of all time.
Well, it must get better later.
I think it does. Starts pretty good too, though.
Rumors is brought to you by Harley Davidson of Edmonton. It's riding season, and Harley Davidson of Edmonton has your next bike waiting. Huge selection of new and pre-owned, plus test rides are available, locally owned and operated since 1980 on the Yellowhead Trail or at hdedmonton.com. Okay. So many places to go. I'm going to start with the Edmonton Oilers and the latest. And by the way, guys, if there's a move made like a trade, NHL, NBA, luge, highlight, wallet throwing, whatever, just jump in.
Just make sure we tell you. Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Edmonton Oilers, Mike Babcock announced, DJ Smith talked about yesterday. I thought both were representative of what they will do. I think this will be a more of a suppression team. I don't think they'll score as much. I think what you'll notice is that the ice time won't change massively for McDavid and Draisaitl, but where they're deployed will. As an example, Smith said that McDavid would not be a big part of the penalty kill. It may happen from time to time, but you can alleviate that because you're going to use Jason Dickinson and whomever else he plays with on the penalty kill. On the power play, maybe it's not a 2-minute power play. Maybe it's a minute 16 for McDavid and Draisaitl, and then the second power play comes on. And you're going to sacrifice. You're not going to score as much because the first power play isn't out there, but you're giving everybody a rest and you're giving everybody an opportunity. And these players will grow, like Matt Savoy and Ike Howard if he's still on the team. So there's opportunities made available to other players, and as they grow and get better, maybe they move up to the McDavid line because they're flourishing now and they have more confidence. So I think in that way the minutes for McDavid and Draisaitl will be reduced, and then there are going to be times, and this should come as no surprise. So the Oilers are up 6-1, for instance. You do not have to play in the back half of the third period. You don't have to play McDavid, Draisaitl, every 4 times. You could, maybe miss one or have them do a short shift. I think that the Jason Dickinson line and maybe even the Draisaitl line may end up taking more own zone face-offs, allowing the McDavid line and the fourth line to have offensive zone face-offs. I think that fourth line is going to be important. I think it's probably going to be Szymanski with Doc and Frederick. That's the kind of line that you can call it the fourth line, but if they play well, Babcock will play them more than that. That's the other thing you should expect. On some nights, you're going to look at what's happening in the time on ice at 5-on-5 and go, what's wrong? Is somebody hurt? And it won't be anybody hurt. It's that Babcock likes the fourth line, probably too much for your liking. McTavish used to drive me nuts with this. It drove me nuts, but he did it. And he's the coach, and he was a highly successful coach. And there's a thing that Scotty Bowman used to do that it worked like this. The Montreal Canadiens will come out 1973, and Chuck Lefley's on left wing with Jacques Lemaire and Yvan Cournoyer, and everything's going good. And Lefley didn't get into that corner quickly enough, or didn't beat the icing, or whatever the case may be. And all of a sudden, Yvon Lambert is on that line, and Lefley's one of the extra forwards, and he's penalty killing. The impetus to stay sharp and strong and aggressive will be high if the fact that ice time is available, not available, depending upon how you play, is in play. And I think that's absolutely possible with this coaching staff. That's going to change the way all of those things happen. And I think it will be better come April, May, June for the Edmonton Oilers. I think this team will have better shot suppression, goal suppression numbers than they've had in years. And I think they'll be stronger at 5-on-5. They're always going to be good on the power play, and their penalty kill will be better too because they'll be extremely aggressive. I loved everything Smith said yesterday. Chicago Blackhawks have acquired Bowen Byram. There's a split in terms of what people think about this trade. I think that fourth overall means different things, but fourth overall this year, based on what the draft experts are telling me, is a really valuable piece. I think Chicago overpaid. Now, does that mean it's awful? No. And when people are saying that it's, they've acquired somebody who can't help, I don't agree with that at all. It was a trade they made. The opportunity was there. Blackhawks are looking to get aggressive. There's a lot of reasons why a team would make a trade. I still think it was a brilliant move by Buffalo. And Sabres are walking away from Tuck. That's news. That would be a player the Oilers would love to get. They just don't have the coin. The Nurse trade information that we've gotten, the latest we've gotten, is that the trade is out there for them. May not happen right away because the list may have to be expanded. I'm a little dubious on that. I honestly feel like there's a need for them to move money off so that they can go about their business. They've already signed a couple of guys in Connor Brown and Jason Dickinson to reasonable deals, by the way, but it's still 8.1. And so I think they've got enough for about $1 million per player. They've got 7 players left to fill in, and they've got about $7.5 million. I don't think that's enough. They'd have to move somebody off the roster. If it's not Nurse, maybe it's Jake Wallman. And then after that, you're asking another player making a lot of coin if they're willing to move. And that gets into, once again, the no movement clauses. So you have to be careful on that. So that's what we have so far in the Edmonton Oilers, and the Chicago Blackhawks, a very interesting team. We'll see how that works out. Anything else what's caught my eye is just tons of rumors about where players might be going, right? Or players that might be in play. Zach Werenski apparently in play. I mentioned about Alex Tuck moving on. Jordan Greenway got moved as well, which I thought was interesting. Do you guys, is there a name out there that has moved or rumored to be moved that caught your eye, or are you just kind of blown away by how much activity looks like is going to happen?
Yeah, I think my thing with the Bowen Byram thing, because I agree. I think so now they've traded for the right to overpay him. And then on Buffalo's side of things, it's like this was a team where finally everything seemed to be firing on all cylinders, like it was all working for you. And now you're going to lose Alex Tuck and Bowen Byram. It's just a weird spot for them to be in for a team that finally looked like for the first time in a long time they actually had something. Other than that, though, I think things are pretty chalk and standard for an offseason of this caliber.
Okay. In the first segment, I mentioned Jessa Puljujarvi, which was swept away by my learned friend Josh. But I want to return to that. This is David Pagnotta from Fourth Period. Said we're a week away from free agent doors swinging open. One player to look out for is Jessa Puljujarvi. He had a monster season in the Swiss League. His hip issues are a thing of the past, I'm told. And he's already gotten lots of interest from several teams eyeing a mid-6 upgrade. One of the things Puljujarvi did very well on the Connor McDavid line was help him turn over pucks in the neutral zone. And I don't know what Puljujarvi's role would be on any team that he would come to, and I very much doubt it's an Oiler. signing, by the way, just so you know. But I think it's interesting, and I'm delighted for him. A wonderful young man who built a very strong relationship with a large group of Edmonton Oilers fans when he was here. So we want to wish him the best of luck. And I'll be interested. I'll be following. I know that he had played a little bit in Carolina, and we'll see where he ends up should he sign with an NHL team. But it's an interesting little tweak on free agency, and I wanted to pass it along. The thought of Werenski is so enticing. Nurse, Howard, Akey, 28 first, 29 first, 20, 26 second. And what else from Team Dean? I'm just going to stop you there. Somebody in the NHL is going to have a better offer, and it's going to be stuff that doesn't start with 8 picks. So, these teams they're not, Columbus doesn't want to move him to rebuild. They're moving him because they have to, and they don't want to lose too much, right? Like what Ottawa just did. They traded Tkachuk, and then they made a pretty nice deal for a younger player who is also already a productive NHL player. So I expect that's what Columbus would do in moving Werenski. I like that trade for Buffalo. 4th overall, a second. And Crevier. I'll take that for Byram all day long. I will too, John, just so you know. I think most people do, but I think that some people are probably discounting what Byram might be able to do on the other end of the trade too. LT, so many Oiler issues. This is from Joe Daddy. Seem to stem from bad management decisions over the last few years. Do you think it was a mistake for the organization to let Steve Staios go to Ottawa instead of making a successful plan or succession plan with Staios? No, look, I think the idea of being aggressive about getting better came from the top, and it came in 2015. When the McDavid lottery was won, the owner, rightly, was worried about the new arena and the new ticket prices and putting bums in the seats in the new building. McDavid was a godsend to the ownership group, and he has been money since. That's the house McDavid built down the street from us. It's a beautiful building. I mean, it is top drawer. So the urgency started with the 2015 draft. Acquire Griffin Reinhart, acquire Cam Talbot, acquire Eric Greiba, and then sign Andres Sekera. They had Clefbaum, they had Nurse, and they were still going after lefty defensemen. They wanted to be good in a hurry, as in right away. And they made the playoffs in 2017. And since then, they've been aggressive every summer and every deadline, trading everything not nailed down, and sometimes even stuff that was nailed down. So we just witnessed the Carolina Hurricanes deliver a Stanley Cup in a completely different way. It's almost like, that Opposite George episode of Seinfeld? It's almost like Eric Telsky and his Carolina Hurricanes giant-brained people said, we're going to do what the opposite of what the Edmonton Oilers do. We are going to draft. We're going to develop. We're going to use the waiver wire for goaltenders instead of $5 million to Jack Campbell. And we're going to try to win with $7 million under the cap. And damned if they didn't do it. Now, I love the way the Carolina Hurricanes went around their business. I love it. That's how I like to see it built. That said, there's more than one way to make things work. You just have to make the right bets. This is all about bets. And I know that's people don't like using, gambling terms, but everything's a bet. The Connor Murphy trade is a bet he'll be as good next year as he was last year, and then do it 4 more times. You might not like the bet, but that's the bet was made by management. So when The Oilers made it to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals in 24 and Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals in 25. Nobody was really saying, Ken Holland not using the first-round picks properly. Nobody was saying that. I couldn't even argue it because they made it to 2 Stanley Cup Finals in a row. Now, the price that will be paid by the Edmonton Oilers, well, you can see it now. When you run out of support players and you sign the wrong people to fill the roles with the little money you do have, then you have problems. But even with that, Stan Bowman has done a really nice job of signing Europeans and college kids, and some of them are on the way. We saw Szymanski this year. I think you can win both ways. I think it's more attractive for the fan base to do it the Carolina way, but the Oilers are more fun to watch, right?
Yes. And you know what's funny about that? There was a question. It came in on the text line before. It actually also came in on the YouTube chat yesterday. And Noel Rinsky on YouTube, he had asked, would you trade the entire Oilers roster for Carolina's roster? And obviously Carolina just won the Stanley Cup, duh. But to me, the answer is no. And part of it is how they play the game.
Yeah, I think Carolina came in. Here's the weird thing about hockey. Nobody can plan a winning streak. But how many games did Carolina lose in the playoffs?
3.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can't plan that. And you can also not say that they were that much better than the rest of the league. They were fire, baby. And they did a lot of things right. I give them credit. But backup goalie got them through. They had a lot of things that all the dice tumbled in a good direction. God love them. It was fantastic. So bottom line on all of this is you can win both ways. It's a little messier the way the Oilers are doing it, but it's also more exciting on the ice, taking nothing away from the Carolina Hurricanes. I thought they were brilliant, and they are pristine team building using analytics, the draft, and procurement at the low end, and then developing players. They only made a couple of big bets, and one of them worked out after one didn't work out in the Rantanen trade, and then when they traded Rantanen away. So, all right, it's 12:38 on the way. We have Kevin McCurdy, 140 today. It's that. Did we talk about the NBA trade at all, or did I screw you over again?
No. We I'll talk about it on Duncan with Declan, jamming with Josh, and if there's time, laying it up for Lowetide.
Let me just talk to you briefly about this in just 2 minutes, and then we'll move. How is the atmosphere after 2 wins over at the Elks practice?
It is much better. People seem happier. Everything seems to be a little bit smoother. Things are going well.
Good. I'm glad. All those cats deserve it over there. They really genuinely do. All right. On the way, more of your comments. We're going to get into it. I think about Darnell Nurse. Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
The heartbeat of sports. The fans. This is Lowetide on Sports 1440.
By Wolf GMC Buick.
Looking for a truck that can handle anything Alberta throws your way? Wolf GMC Buick has the offers to get you behind the wheel. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 models. Plus, trade in an eligible 2015 or newer pickup and receive a $1,000 truck trade-in bonus on select Sierra models. Ask about bonus offers for heroes, students, recent graduates, and more. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Guys, there never seems to be enough time in the day. but you need to make time for this. Ken Franchek here. If you're 40 or over, a quick PSA blood test is crucial for early prostate cancer detection. The Prostate Cancer Center's Man Van is a mobile health clinic driving change for men's health. A few minutes could save your life. To get the Man Van out to your business or event, book today at getcheck.ca.
Ready to upgrade your ride this spring? Come on down to the Golf Cart People. They're a family-owned and operated business that's been serving the community since '97. Whether you're looking for a brand new or quality pre-owned cart, a rental for a special event, they do that too. The Golf Cart People have a huge selection of parts and accessories, and their expert service team is here to keep you rolling. The Golf Cart People, your one-stop shop for everything golf cart. Visit golfcartpeople.com.
Alberta, we're wild and tough and beautiful. We agree that good enough isn't good enough. And though everything that matters starts with a home and a family. At Lux, our family has been handcrafting windows and doors for this incredible place for over half a century. And there's no place we'd rather be. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is such a great song. This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. They're available anytime at wolfgmcbuick.com. We have Kevin McCurdy coming up. Talk to him about Mike Babcock and DJ Smith and the future and what might happen between now and, say, October. Billy says, I feel like you need all the tools available regarding the nurse situation. And if you do not include the 2026 draft, you lose one of the tools. I feel the urgency is in the next 48 hours. And the asset further diminishes. July 2nd, it diminishes further as another tool has expired. I very much doubt that the Oilers would want, it could be a draft pick if they're taking the entire amount of money. You know what I mean? Like if it's Nurse and, retaining $2.5 million for the number, 49 pick, sure. But I think they probably would rather take Nick Seeler. And then have, I think Seeler is about $5.5 million less than Nurse. And then you can go to market with that money. Not Fred says, I think the song coming out of the break is too hard and repetitive for Al. Please don't play it again. Is he talking about the previous one or the Sinead O'Connor one?
Well, like the context certainly makes more sense if he's talking about Master of Puppets, but we just played Nothing Compares to You, so I would have to think that one.
Why don't we play something, obscure like Smells Like Teen Spirit or something?
Oh, hey, super obscure.
Something nobody has heard.
Well, you didn't exactly seem to know Master of Puppets, which I would say is equally as surprising.
Look, I listen to the tunes. I don't know all the bands. I know some of the famous stuff. Check me on Black Sabbath or Deep Purple. I'm there. You got to remember, when did Master of Puppets come out?
88, I want to say.
Yeah, so I was, what was I doing in 88? I don't even remember what I was doing. I was working sports radio in 88. was working with John Short. Rod Phillips.
1986.
86. I was working top 40 in 86, boys.
Whoa.
Madonna, Prince.
Master of Puppets.
I don't think that was a hit.
Master of Puppets?
A top 40 radio hit?
It wasn't exactly top 40.
Right. So AOR rock hit. I didn't work that format.
Let's see. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at the charts.
Okay.
Take a gander.
Look up When Doves Cry.
Yes, that's a big one.
Like a Virgin, and then Master of Puppets. And tell me the difference in terms of chart peak, would you please?
Listen, no one's knocking how big.
Well, I'm
Prince
just
or
saying,
Madonna
I
were.
worked top 40.
Yeah, so Master of Puppets, the album, it hit number 7.
Right.
And the single, let's see where this one charted. Its peak position was number 35.
See, that's it's the only point I'm making is when you work top 40, When Doves Cry, Purple Rain, Like a Virgin, those are the things you dealt with. And I was heavy metal, but I was heavy metal when I was 15. So that's Smoke on the Water. And even by the time Van Halen hit, I was like, I listened, but I didn't listen, to the deep album cuts. You guys, mean boys and your rock and roll, snobbery.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, gatekeeping Metallica.
All right. Who will fill the shoes for KK? Well, it's not public yet, so we say nothing.
It will be announced on Friday.
Okay.
It's probably going to be me. So just keep that in mind.
Well, we said it would be announced on Friday, man.
Keep that in mind.
You don't have to talk about your promotion like this.
What I was told was good-looking guy, so probably Declan.
Oh, I guess I'm out.
I don't know if it's been announced, but is there a replacement for KK yet? No. Good-looking guy, probably Declan is what I'm thinking. But who will fill the shoes for KK? Play the song. He means who will the country song. Who will fill their shoes? Great song. LT, how much do the Oilers have in cap room after the Dickinson and Murphy signing? This is available to anybody at Puckpedia. I'll look it up because I don't know, and it's one of the things that a broadcaster should know if he's working in Edmonton radio. $7.42 million, dollarinos, as the young people say. Right? You guys say that a lot, don't you?
As the kids say?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, we do not.
Big young person phraseology there. Buccarinos.
I feel like you should run some of this slang like by your daughter first.
I don't. I'm afraid. If I say something and she just rolls her eyes, just like you do.
It makes sense. It's a young person generation thing.
That's with 11 forwards, 6 defensemen, and a goalie. So you've got 18. You need 5 more for that 7 trill. So you don't have enough money, I don't think. JMO. Just saying. Just my opinion.
Well, that's like your opinion, man.
Great movie. 86 was a good year for movies.
And music, apparently, because Master of Puppets.
Well, When Doves Cry was fantastic.
That's nice.
It's 84, though, but it's still wonderful.
By the way, I just want to tell the whole world right now, my GeoSports score today was 886. I'm feeling very proud. Then the Duke dunked on me.
What's the high score?
High score is 1,000. That's the max you can get.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Daniel from Leduc. It's radio. Why do they have to be good looking? That's what I tell my bosses every job I get.
This is more good looking dude, like, when the scouts are talking in Moneyball, like he's got a good looking voice for radio. You know what I mean? Declan. Even though it can be shrill at times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the big criticism of Declan is that he's
wait, hold on a second.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, the big criticism of Declan is that he's too humble.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you're right. How can I forget that?
It's just you'd like him to be a little more outwardly confident with that kind of ability. you know, and he struts about like, if we were a rock and roll band, I'd be the manager.
Sure.
He'd be the lead singer.
Yeah.
And what would you be?
This is a great question. I don't know. The bass player?
I think you'd be the producer.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. You'd be the tech guy with the
Declan, you're a solo act.
I'm like, do you guys ever see Pop Star Never Stopping with Andy Samberg?
Yes.
No, never saw. I saw Spinal Tap though.
Hey,
who would be the drummer who got blown up among the people that we work with?
Great question.
Josh,
he's retiring. He's on his way out. Kevin Karius.
You will never get more radio than what Josh just said. Who's leaving? You know, who broke the headphones? Who just left? Karius.
It would be Karius.
For the next 6 months, anything that goes wrong, Karius.
That's right.
Yeah. We're a good bunch. Radio is like the best job ever. Honestly, it's like you work 4 hours more than anybody or 4 hours less than anybody, and you don't consider it work.
And you get free stuff.
You do, by the mile.
Also, what Lowetide said is only true for Lowetide or Kevin Karius.
I used to work. I used to get to work at 9 and go home at 9. Yeah. So that was back in the olden days. But as you get older, they're like, do we really want him around any longer? All he does is bother people. So they scoot me out of the building pretty quickly. I do my hit with K97. I read a spot or two, and then I'm gone.
Yep.
You know, and you try to run over me in your new car. Nice.
I did not try to run over you.
Yeah. By the way, I saw you playing with your hair in your car.
I was moving it because I was about to start driving with the window down. It did not help, by the way.
I'm going to film that and send it to
Nyla,
your girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, let her know that you're.
I would say the amount of times she has seen me without a hat on, like outside of bed or like going to bed, is 3 times probably.
So she doesn't know what your hair looks like.
She knows what my hair
nice
looks
hair,
like.
By the way,
I know I do, but for now, it's getting.
What
a little,
do you mean for now?
It's getting a little thin up.
Why is everybody so lacking confidence about hair?
I'm not lacking confidence about hair. I'm just being realistic. It's getting thin up there.
You know, you can do plugs.
Yeah, I just spent $3,100 last week.
Yeah.
I cannot afford plugs, nor would I ever do plugs.
Do you have a savings account?
What do you think I had to drain in order to pay for the car and tow?
All right. I've obviously talked to somebody who knows what he's doing. Okay.
You've struck a nerve.
Don't make me come over there. All right. Kevin McCurdy on the way. We also have declinations at 1:40. This is the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. We're brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick, and it's a time for an update with Declan Krueger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Elks Nation. For the best Elks coverage year-round with podcasts and articles, go to elksnation.ca. We got player interviews, game analysis, and more. The best green and gold coverage online. It's elksnation.ca. FIFA World Cup will get going at 1 o'clock today with 2 games, Bosnia and Herzegovina and Qatar, and Canada and Switzerland. Canada with a chance to win their group against the Swiss with just a draw. Games at 4 o'clock, we'll see Morocco and Haiti, Scotland and Brazil, and Czechia and Mexico. Czechia and Mexico at 7, as well as South Africa and South Korea. Games in the MLB right now, see the Cubs up on the Mets, 6-3. A rain delay between the Guardians and the White Sox in the top of the first has that one at 0-0. The Red Sox and Rockies will get going at 1:10. The Blue Jays will play host to the Astros with a 5:07 first pitch. It will be a Savage on the bump for the Jays. Now, McCookalainen, it said Alex Tuch will not return to the Sabres in news around the NHL world. And 2027 NHL draft prospect DuPont will play at Michigan next season. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Mr. Rooter buries evidence in the desert.
I didn't mean to do it. I was forced into it. Yeah, forced. But now, no one will ever know. You've done well, Mr. Rooter. You did something awful, but you covered your tracks. It's done. The last transcript that shows I did a semester of electrician school.
Uncover evidence of the proudest plumber, Mr. Rooter.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and this is the time of the year most RV stores wish their lot was full. At the new RV stores, product is trickling in, mostly just for taking orders. But having an RV on order doesn't mean much when the weather's great for camping today.
No Bull has hundreds of quality used RVs on the lot now. Right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. Walk into No Bull RV today and you could be in the great outdoors next weekend. No waiting, no hoping it'll be here by summer, just the perfect used trailer, motorhome, fifth wheel, or toy hauler that you need.
And every RV at No Bull is one of a kind.
Every family is one of a kind too, Bob. Think we can't find the perfect one for you? Take a look around. At No Bull, you'll save thousands compared to the cost of a new RV. You can build your summer plan on hope, or you can know for sure. And ask about our Camp Ready service plan when you're here to make this the best summer yet.
And that's No Bull. NoBullRV.ca.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
GMC Buick. Trade in any eligible pickup and receive a $1,000 truck trade-in bonus on select Sierra models. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. And this hour, we have declinations coming up at 1:40. A lot of your comments at 1:20. And we are now joined by our friend Kevin McCurdy for our regular Wednesday chat. Okay, we're not quite in yet. So all teed up there, ready to ask Kevin the first question, but he'll be there. He's always online, right? Kevin is always online?
Maybe. He's not in our room right now.
Okay.
He'll be here soon.
All right.
Sounds like we're bringing him up on the old telephone.
Victrola? Right. You do a good job, by the way. I do watch the shows that and the things that you put out, and you do fine work, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No.
Hey, Kevin.
Okay. You can hear Declan either ordering a pizza or talking to Kevin McCurdy, one of the two. No, anchovies. So unless he and Kevin are big fans of anchovies, I think probably he's ordering a pizza, but we'll find out.
Okay, we don't have him on the telephone. He will be on video.
Okay. It is time for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Faber. Cash Flow Crunch. Got your business on the sidelines? Schedule your free consultation with Faber's licensed insolvency trustees and get back in the game. Visit Faber, Faber.ca, Faber.ca. Now joined by our friend Kevin McCurdy. How are you? That's good. That's excellent. So what do you... No, he's not here yet. So he's trying to hook in now, even though we had him on the phone?
Yeah, so basically I called him on the phone and I was like, hey, we good? And he was like, yeah, just logging on right now. I was like, so we're doing video?
We could have had him on the phone, but
we could.
We just
Cool. You don't have
throw
to,
him off the phone.
You don't have to preach to the choir like that.
You know, could have had him, had that. We'd be talking now and, you know.
Yeah, it gets a little old when it's every week and it's a late to the hit, but what are you going to
do? Scott Hall says, now that the new coach has been hired and put through the proverbial media ringer, questioned, answered, interrogated further after the presser by our fine but over-ripened media folks, is it now plausible that Coach Babcock and Coach Smitty can breathe and get on with what's important now? I certainly hope so, from Scott Hall. Well, I think that's the idea. You know, this issue doesn't go away, but it doesn't also have anything to drive it currently. So we'll see, right? I mean, the idea of redemption is not new to us, and we will see how it goes. This is a brilliant opportunity for Mike Babcock, and we'll see what happens. But yes, yeah, this is now getting about the business of winning the Stanley Cup for Mike Babcock. Joined now by our friend Kevin McCurdy. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Alan. How are you doing this week?
I'm good. I was fascinated by yesterday's media avail. It was interesting as theater. I thought both coaches gave a strong indication of who they are as people and coaches. And I think that we'll see how this plays out. But I think we were introduced to a head coach of the Oilers and a future head coach of the Oilers yesterday.
I think that's potentially an outcome there. I definitely DJ Smith is saying all the right things. Let's put it that way. He has made one heck of an impression on me in the last 24 hours and, you know, kind of left me going, well, I apologize because I was unfamiliar with your game type of situation, right? So, Babcock is what he is. One way or the other, they've made their decision. We have to live with that decision. There are arguments for and against it, certainly, but a little bit of rigor around discipline and I guess habits isn't going to be something that hurts people on this team for the most part, as long as that doesn't extend into abusive territory.
Do you sense that, you know, from the verbal, and I know you would have gone over all of the interviews and, you know, discussed what we heard. I thought that there were some really interesting takes on Nurse and Bouchard by Smith, and also McDavid on the penalty kill, or lack of McDavid on the penalty kill. And Babcock certainly seems to have an idea about, you know, how the opposition offense is going to be suppressed. You know, fewer shots against in a particular area, fewer goals against overall. You know, we sometimes see coaches come in and they give an overview. I thought the zeal that both coaches had and the specifics they had were very interesting in terms of, it sounds like, or at least feels like, they spent a lot of time thinking about how they're going to handle this roster.
Yeah, I would say that that's fair. I was certainly encouraged by, as you put it, DJ Smith's comments towards Nurse and Bouchard. Obviously, the team is still looking to move Nurse, but they clearly have deployed a landing pad for Nurse if that doesn't pan out this summer. And I don't think that they should take just any deal that presents itself, because evidence is showing that GMs in the league are overpaying for mediocre talent. in ways that we've rarely seen before, at least not to the capacity that we saw yesterday. Don't get me wrong, Bowen Byram is a heck of a defenseman, but I'm not sure he's worth fourth overall in a draft as deep as the this year's draft is. But back to your original point for a minute. They're saying the right things. Again, I think some rigor and some structure on the defensive side of the puck and some enforcement of that structure is going to be good for this team. But they've clearly thought more than 0 seconds about how they're going to put it all together this year.
It's Kevin McCurdy, our guest on Sports 1440 in the Lowdown with Lowetide. For me, the Nurse trade looms large now because they don't have a pile of money left to fill out the roster, and they have very specific needs. Right now, if they didn't trade Nurse, they'd probably have to bring in a goalie for around $1 million, and that's a waiver guy. And I like Michael DiPietro a ton, but I think they are aiming higher here for a goaltender. Maybe I'm wrong, but if they can't trade Nurse, I'm not sure who they would check down to make cap room available.
Yeah, I don't know, and it sounds like Janmark's going to make a return this year, and I mean, not that frees up loads of cap by any means, but they certainly would have to pick their places, and I still think it's pretty likely that Nurse is going to be relocated somewhere out east. There's still a lot of chatter out there about it, so it's just a matter, if Philly. Just depends on who shows up with the right package that's on his list, right?
Yeah, it's true. By the way, Elliot Friedman reporting, not sure the pieces fit yet. Alex Tuch traded to Washington and extended 8 times $10.5 million. The Capitals are doing interesting work. Kyrou there, and now Tuch. Buffalo doing a lot of work as well. Any first blush thoughts on that trade for the Washington Capitals, getting a power forward and then signing him to 8 years?
Would you qualify him as a power forward? I mean, yeah, he's 6'4".
Well,
but
he's got some of the elements you would associate with a power forward.
Yeah, but you know what I'm getting at, right? Like
yeah,
he's got a touch of the Ryan McLeod in him, but not as much of the Zach Cassian, if you know what I'm saying. So I like Tuch a lot as a player. I just don't know. I'm not sure, maybe in the new cap world, $10.5 million is fair, but that seems a little bit steep. He is a perennial point producer. There's no disputing that. That's a big contract for that guy. That's just kind of my hot off the presses take there for that one.
I always worry about players like him signing for 8 years. The Peter Chiarelli got absolutely seared over the Lucic contract, and he was a power forward. He was more than an enforcer than anything. But there was a lot of miles on him, and there's a lot of miles on Tuch. And I don't know that there'll be a heavy criticism. Tim Barnes and the Capitals are analytics folks, and obviously Tuch has lots of things to recommend him. But let's review here. It's an older player, around 30, I believe, maybe even more than that. 8-year contract, 10.5. That's the kind of contract that, if Washington weren't an analytics team, we'd probably mention it. So we probably should mention it, even if they are.
Yeah. First thing, Tim Barnes is a clever man. I have no doubt that they've been up, down, and around this one. And, signing a guy, I think you're right. I think he's 30. Signing him until he's 38, I mean, that you are taking it to the brink of risk at that point, right? That said, I don't think he plays the Lucic, Cassian archetype, Evander Kane archetype of power forward. I just don't think that's his play style, which means it'll probably age better with him than it did with Lucic, and that's probably a good thing for Washington in this case.
Also, he scored 36 and 33 the last 2 years, and those are the highest numbers of his career. So
yeah, now compare that to Lucic and
Lucic.
Cassian.
I remember talking to Dello because Lucic had gone to Los Angeles after Boston, and I was a big Lucic fan from his Boston days, and I I mentioned to Dello, this is a long time ago,
Yeah.
about I thought he had, 2 or 3 good years left, and he's like, I don't know, and he mentioned some underlying numbers in LA in that 1 year. And then he came to Edmonton and he couldn't score at 5-on-5. Those passing skills that he had just left him. His hands were no longer what they had been. I don't think that's the case with Tuck, obviously, with a strong year, 33 goals and 66 points. Back to the Oilers, Kevin. When we're talking about the Oilers and the roster and how it might look with Mike Babcock, we know that they're a suppression team. We know that the now they are that Babcock's the coach. So now that we're looking at that kind of team, are there, like, I think Colton Dock, as a for instance, would be a player who might benefit a lot. Matt Savoy is a smart two-way player. He's not a big guy, but he's a really smart two-way player. I think that Babcock, that'll catch his eye. And is there any player on the team that you think they're going to be aggressive, they're going to force the play even on the penalty kill, that they like the two-way guys and the guys who are smart with the puck? Anybody aside from, say, Savoy and Doc, if you agree with them, that might be players that you think will thrive under the new coaching staff?
Well, I think the hard workers are the ones that are going to benefit the most. And by that, I mean, you like you said, I think Savoy is on that list. I think Podkolzin is pretty obviously on that list. In fact, I think he exemplifies hard work and dedication as far as the Oilers go. He's kind of always the first on, last off type of guy, and same kind of, there's reasons Babcock like Zach Hyman, right? Like, same kind of situation there. I think that any player is probably, assuming they're not, I don't know, for lack of a better word, lazy, is going to benefit from Babcock. And again, assuming that there are adequate protections put in place to prevent egregious overreach on discipline, I guess. Yeah, I think most of the roster is going to benefit from his hard edge. There's a couple of guys that I can think of that it could go either way, and we'll see if they're Oilers by the end of the year or not. But yeah, it could. There's, for the most part, I think widely is going to benefit this team.
I had a couple of people say to me, Bouchard's in trouble, but I just want to push back a little bit. Babcock, there are public things known about him, but he's not a dummy, and he would be able to see what Evan Bouchard brings and how quickly he moves the puck out. And Babcock's all about possession and doing good things when in possession. So Babcock should be a feature player. Do you see anything about, I know he makes, he'll make mistakes like he did a year ago, but it's hard for me to believe that Babcock would make him the object of some ire beyond, let's tighten it up when we can.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. And remember, DJ Smith just spent a pile of time with Bouchard in the summer at the Worlds until Bouchard got rather untimely concussed and removed from that series. Had nothing but positive things to say about him. So considering DJ Smith is going to be running the defensive core, I think Evan has very little to worry about. Especially if they're trusting the numbers. I mean, yeah, there are times where Evan Bouchard leaves me pulling my hair out because you think he should have done something else, but he so nails all the time otherwise, especially when it matters. Like, remember the San Jose game last year where they were down 3-0 in the third period, and between him and McDavid, they just like completely put it away.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of player that Evan Bouchard is. He's the kind of guy that drags you back from a 2-1 series lead that could have been easily 3-1 against LA and drags them, hollering and screaming back into the series to ultimately win it, right? Like, these are not guys that, the reason people get upset with Evan is because of perceived lack of effort. But the reality for Bouchard is he is just a guy that is so cool under pressure that sometimes he doesn't recognize danger in the way that, or apply the appropriate amount of response to danger, which works out both ways.
Yeah. Well, he's either got ice in his veins or
Exactly.
he's controller unplugged. I mean, I love him as a player, but I'll admit to frustration sometimes.
Well, I mean, it's really just Paul Coffey 2.0, is it not? Like, how is he any different than Paul Coffey was to watch?
Well, Coffey was more dynamic as a skater, but Coffey was not as good a defenseman, like defending wise.
I think Bouchard is pretty criminally underrated league wide as far as being a defenseman, right? Like, he gets lots of credit for his offensive accolades, but he puts out similar to, if you're looking at WAR, for example, he puts out similar WAR numbers to some of the best defensemen in the league. So I don't know. I have a hard time with him getting crucified for his defensive capability nearly as much as he seems to catch online for it.
Yeah, it's true. And Oilers fans, I think he's a better defender than Paul Coffey, but I also think that Oilers fans have always preferred the Lee Fogle and Jason Smith types, even though, honestly, great defensemen from Ontario keep, coming out here and absolutely dazzling. And it's happened, more than twice, but those two examples are the obvious ones. Let me ask you, because people ask me and I don't have a specific answer. I mean, I do. I like Michael DiPietro in Boston and Providence with the Bruins, but is there a goaltender that you think the Oilers should target, or is it just a range of goalies that you'd like to see, depending upon how much money they have when it's time to go get one?
It depends on how much money they have. If the answer is you got to fill the Ingram archetype of $1 million, then yeah, you go get DiPietro out of Boston. And whether you have to claim him off waivers or what, if you start somebody else, or you spend that second round pick that's been rumored forever for the Costa deal, and Stevie Weiserman backs off of his ridiculous ask for Costa. I think there was some noise drummed up about that, and I think Stevie's under quite a bit of pressure right now to make good moves, and we'll see if his tune changes after the draft rolls around. Let's put it that way. But those two guys are who I would be after. There's no chance Connor Hellebuyck's going to make it out here. Like, he's going to the States. There's next to zero chance that you're going to see basically any star goalie come here, although there's been rumor that there was a couple of goalies that wouldn't say no if the opportunity presented itself. So anything is possible, and I'm pretty confident the Oilers are working the phones pretty hard right now. But
how much of a splash do they have to make, or would it be dangerous to put all your eggs in a heavy, like, to trade Nurse and then somehow turn around and pick up an $8 million goalie or an $8 million scoring winger?
I would prefer the $8 million scoring winger to the $8 million goalie if you had to give me the choice. Unless you're certain that $8 million goalie is going to be absolutely lights out, which there is no certainty in goaltending. So, yeah, give me the $8 million scoring winger. But I'll caution people that on the narrative around, throwing Nurse out as rapidly as possible. He may not be a perfect defenseman. There may be flaws in his game. There are flaws in his game. There's flaws in every defenseman's game. But he has played 20 plus minutes a night for this season for 12 years. And he's missed not even a full season's worth of games in that same time. So you got to be careful what you wish for here. As much as he is maligned around here, as much as he's controversial in how he approaches the defensive side of the puck, he is a damn good defenseman in this league. His major flaw is that he's overpaid, and that's not really his fault.
No.
So I don't know. Be careful what you wish for is all I'm going to leave there as a parting thought.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that especially with the age of Ekholm and the injury history of Wallman, there's real danger there. Thanks so much for this. It's going to be an exciting week. Next week, Lord knows what we're going to be talking about. I appreciate your time.
No worries. Have a good week, everyone.
There you go. Kevin McCurdy, who joined us every Wednesday on the Lowdown with Lowetide. And this was a particularly interesting one because there's so much going on. Your comments are straight ahead, and we have declinations at 1:40 today. This is the Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
Are you a skilled laborer?
Who should go through? Head-to-head record being key. We'll go Croatia. Whipped across. Bounces off the bench. And the Croatian class comes to the fore. Extra pass is blocked. Quintero. Portabar goes over the shot. It's Williams has done it again. Colombian breakthrough in Guadalajara. In the center field. Base hit from Machado. Here comes Chantamero. Padres. Machado comes up big. Padres hero tonight. Into center field. Base hit from Machado. Here comes Chantamero. Padres. Manny Machado comes up big. Padres hero tonight.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit sports encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. They're available anytime at wolfgmcbuick.com. King says, please, no updates on the Canada football game. Recorded it, and I'm rushing home to watch it. I promise I won't. It never works for me. I always try to tape a game. Well, tape is the wrong word, but whatever you do. And somebody mentions, or I go, I accidentally turned the radio on, or I got to check Twitter, and I don't know why I do any of that stuff, because just mute everything, but I never am able to. I'm too nosy and curious. Can you guys do that? Can you, or do you care the result?
No, I don't care about the result. So there's I'll see the result on CBS or Sportsnet or whatever, and then I possess the ability to just say, I'll go back and watch that. Or if it's a blowout and it's a team I don't care about, no point in me doing it now, is there?
Okay.
Deck is a little, never mind, Deck's locked in.
No, I'm the same way, generally speaking.
But you like to watch, like I know you tape college football and basketball, and you just like to watch specific players and, because you're
you know what? I lied. I'm not the same way at all. I like to go back and watch it.
Yeah, you're just built different. Like, I think you sort of have a coach's mentality when you, because they talk about breaking down film, and I don't know if you would call it that, but you obviously spend a lot more time staring at the video.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I do put a lot of effort into it. Little payout, but a lot of effort.
Coach Vic says, good riddance to Karius. Nobody likes a quitter. I'll miss him in my morning drive to work. All the best wishes for him. And here's hoping for a great retirement. Well, Karius is the kind of guy who I think, honestly, I think, he took the gig and he did a brilliant job. He really did. And, but he's got a lot going on. Like, he talks about his garden and his rec hockey team like a lot. So I think golf, rec hockey, garden, and I don't know what he does in the winter. I imagine he's got a giant pool in his basement with fish in it that he can just go fishing on a boat in his gigantic basement or something. But yeah, you're right. Rec hockey, but golf in the summertime, and gardening in the summertime. He'll keep himself busy, and as Josh said, he'll be popping by now and then. Maybe we can have him as a guest on the show now that he's not.
I don't think he wants to do that.
Yeah. What do you think, Kevin?
Nothing against your show. I just think
that's what he said last time, though.
I think he's a guy that's going to enjoy his retirement.
The time I said, Karius, can I get you on my show? He goes, why? And I said, well, just to have you do, read it. He goes, no. And then he walked away.
Legend.
He never did that. So it's very kind and a real nice gentleman. Hey, LT, Tuck trade can be front loaded. And when he's older, teams that are on the rebuild of that during that time can always acquire him to achieve the cap floor and for veteran presence around younger players. Lokesh. I thought that had been wiped out as a possibility, but, great point by you. And I do like Tuck a lot. I just was surprised by the amount and the length of the contract. That's a guy over 30, and you sort of are aware of the amount per annum when they're over 30, and that's a lot times many, and that's Declan Krueger money that we're talking about now. So it's getting up there. I know Declan feels pressure every day to deliver on the Flames are trying to move Connor Zary, according to Darren Dreger. I just want to make sure this is real.
That was the real Darren Dreger.
Okay. I like Zary a lot.
Me too.
And he's not that expensive. What say you? Like, is there something wrong with him?
No, I just don't think he's fitting into the Huska system. Maybe, and he's not.
And Huska is the best coach ever. So
no, he's really not.
He really is the best.
Let's stop making jokes.
Let's
I mean,
make
he's
a
actually
long-term-
quite bad.
He's actually better than
What
who they
Calgary
have up
needs
here,
to do
so
is to give him a long-term deal.
they already did that.
Yeah,
Would
but
you rather-
even longer.
Would you rather have Ryan Huska or Mike Babcock?
I'd
Mike
rather
Babcock.
have Huska.
You say Babcock, Lowetide?
In terms strictly as a coach,
No, we're factoring it out. Like, who would you rather have coaching the team you cheer for?
well, ideally the best coach would be Scotty Bowman.
That's not what the question is. The
Right.
question is Babcock or Huska.
Are we just talking about the ability to
No,
coach? a
we're
hockey
talking.
team?
You pick them up and you drop them with your favorite team.
I choose neither.
That's not an option.
Well, it's my show.
Gun to your head. One or
Have
the
to be
other.
Huska,
Yeah.
but he's not a very good coach, and I wish you'd sign him longer.
No, he's not very good. My team's young, so
Your team sucks, man. No offense.
No,
Nah,
his
man,
team,
they're
There's some
good.
bad teams.
his team when they,
But I'm
they're
just
right
saying,
there.
like-
one of these years, maybe even this one that's coming, they are going to surprise the bloody blue blazes out of everybody.
I think that unfortunately might have been 2 seasons ago.
No, they got some things going on.
I could see it 2 seasons from now, for sure.
Yeah, when they win the Stanley Cup, I agree. 28-29 season.
I hope I hang around long enough to see that happen.
Hey,
or not.
you know what? When it's Declan's show, we'll get you on, and I'll run the interview that day, so that I can say, "See, Lowetide, I was right."
I gotta say that the most surprising trade to me is the Chicago trade. Not that I think the defenseman isn't good. It's just that I think that the experts tell me the 4th overall is something else. So Chicago got better for the now. We'll see if they feel that way 5 years from now. And those are 5 years that they didn't plan on wasting either, like waiting for the player to develop. We'll see.
I think Chicago's feeling the pressure from San Jose. They get Bedard. It's supposed to be, the next great one. Then Celebrini, first overall pick the next year. They almost make the playoffs this year. You think Chicago's feeling a little pressure?
Maybe, because I think San Jose's doing okay. They got the better great young player.
Mm-hmm.
And that's this kid is 200 feet of brilliance. And how old is he? Still 19?
He might have turned 20 by now, but
he's got the Jason Tatum-ism to him where he's always 19.
I'm just we are talking here about a player who can do it all and can do it all at a very, very high level. And so that's something to build around that you really, I mean, how do you defend against that? How do you defend against a guy who's that age and every year he's going to be getting better and they don't even pay him that much right now? They will later.
You have to bully him. You have to play him physically. And I mean, it's not going to matter because he is that good, but that is the one kind of recipe for success, if you will, just because of his size.
That won't always be, an option for people.
Oh yeah, no, he's inevitable. He is that good. I'm just saying, if you look for something, that's kind of what you got to do, I guess.
Now I got people wanting me to give them Canada updates. We give updates at the top of the hour.
and also it's almost half.
I thought we weren't giving updates.
Well, there's an update. It's almost half. Well, just going by the clock.
We can give updates.
Well, people don't want us to.
I know, but that was one guy.
Well, he's a pretty important guy. He texted and I read it. It's pretty important.
But someone texted after that and said, please do give us the updates. If you don't want to know, turn off your radio. I'm just saying. I'm not picking a side here.
Sounds like you're picking a side.
Giving updates makes more sense to me.
Oddball asked me what book sleeve I have concealing Madonna's book. I don't have Madonna's book. Oddball. I do not have Madonna's book. This is from Kenneth. Scott Bowman was known as a tough individual to people. Yeah, this whole comparison thing, I don't do. You know, I lived the world in 1971 and 5 and 90, 79. It was a different world. We had a different, you know, that's why when people say, let's go back to that, well, you know, it wasn't better for everybody, right? And so I'm just not going to, you know, I'm not going to make that comparison. Scotty Bowman was, in my opinion, the best coach who ever lived. I think that we can say that with absolute authority. And I read several Scotty Bowman books, including a great one by, I believe, Douglas Hunter. It is a fantastic one. And Bowman had his way of getting a point across, and he was wildly unpopular, but they also won Stanley Cups. So they loved him when they won Stanley Cups. And again, it was a different time. Doesn't apologize, doesn't make excuses. It's just that it would be not just inappropriate, but it would be an ineffective comparison because the world was a different place. We've talked about that before. All right, 1:38. We're going to take a break. On the way, declinations, and we're going to finally get to the gigantic basketball trade that Declan's been dying to talk about for days now. It's all straight ahead. Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Canada's men's rugby team at Clark Stadium. July 4th, Canada takes on Spain. July 11th, a doubleheader as Canada battles Portugal and Tonga faces Spain. Build the home field advantage for Team Canada. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the 2 best names in the boots business.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. What a time for sports. It is out of sight, man. It's just incredible. Loving it. It is time now for Declinations, brought to you by the Edmonton Elks. The Edmonton Elks' next home game is Thursday, July 9. Come see the most explosive player in the CFL, Justin Rankin. MOP, MO, yeah, man. Lock in your tickets at goelks.com/tickets. He's nails. Speaking of, it's time for Declan Krueger to talk.
Man, we're dunking with Declan. We're jamming with Josh. I am excited to hear Josh's take on this because he comes at it from a little bit different of perspective than I do. But yeah, let's talk about it. So what did the Heat get? You just traded for a top 20 player of all time, a guy who's a top 5 player in the world when healthy, a guy who can single-handedly take over games offensively and defensively, which is something you had been lacking with the current iteration of the team. Like we obviously saw Bam score 83.
Yeah, don't disrespect
Not
Bam,
really.
83 out of bio.
Yeah, I know.
Like that.
It goes Wilt Bam Kobe, by the way, in case you guys forgot. But not really a guy who's been able to take over games offensively consistently. And then Tyler Herro, who was kind of your number one offensive option, who was part of the trade back, he was a guy who was just an absolute pylon out there defensively and would be regularly hunted in the playoffs. Like the Heat weren't in the worst spot in the sense that they were the Kings or they were the Pelicans or they were the Wizards, although things obviously looking up for the Wizards now. But they were just in such play-in purgatory that every year you knew they were going to be 42-40 and be in the play-in. And now they have a guy who is a legitimate game breaker who can take games over. And the thing with basketball is like the game, it kind of goes through ebbs and flows and how it's played. Like it is shifting towards being more of a team game now, but there's no question it's still the game where one individual is the most important and can affect things the most. And you have a guy who, when he's healthy, is a top 5 player in the world and can go out there and do some things we've never seen. Now, when you get a player of his play style on the north side of 30, plays as physical as he does, get to the rim, head down kind of thing, it generally starts to go a little bit south in terms of career production. So that is something to keep an eye on. But this is also a guy we've literally never seen before in terms of his efficiency. So that's what the Miami Heat got. Like, they got a player who is going to be able to take games over, but they also got a player who's on the wrong side of 30 who has been a little bit of a band-aid the past couple of years. And when the trade happened, Josh tweeted at me, he said, "Congrats, Declan Krueger, 6th seed." And this team does have a lot of vibes of a team who's going to go 45-37 next year. And Giannis is going to play 60 games, but they are going to have some games where they look unbeatable defensively. And they are going to have some nights where Giannis goes for 40, 16, and 8. And we're like, yep, that is the player we all knew Giannis to be. Now, when we talk about what they gave up Tyler Herro, Kel'el Ware, Jaime Hawkins Jr., Kasparis Yakuchonitz, the number 13 pick this year, which turned into Nate Ament, 2 first-round picks in 2030 and 33, a pick swap in 2030, and a second-round pick in 2033. So it seems like a lot, but when you kind of break it down, the thing with Tyler Herro is, as good as he's been for the team and as good as he's been offensively, it's like we're going 42-40 every year. You can't play defense. And the thing that often happens in the NBA is that teams pay their guy a lot of money, right? Like we just saw it with the Wizards and Trae Young. You know, De'Aaron Fox, when he was traded to San Antonio, was kind of another example. So Tyler Herro was probably going to be on the hook for like a 5-year, $200 million contract. And conventional wisdom is just like, well, we pay this guy because that's what you do in those situations. But the other side of the coin is like, we could just not do that. You know what I mean? And now this takes it out of the equation. I liked Jaime Hawkins as well. I think he should have won 6th Man of the Year last year. He's on his rookie deal, as is Kel'el Ware and Kasparis Yakuchonitz. But it's like he was 6th Man of the Year on a team that's in a play-in purgatory that's 42-40 every year. Like at some point, it just probably isn't enough. I would have liked to keep one of Kasparis Yakuchonitz or Kel'el Ware, because I think Kel'el Ware has potential to be a really good big man. I loved when they played Bam at the 4, played him at the 5. But if this trade had fallen apart, and the reason was because Miami wasn't willing to part with one of Ware or Yakuchonitz, I would have been like, well, that's a little silly. I can't believe that didn't get done. So the picks, listen, picks in the NBA, you can't view them like people talk about, oh, they trade all these first round picks. Like, it's so much different than the NHL. Like, there are only 2 rounds in the NBA. And beyond that, like, guys picked at the back end of the second round very, very rarely like even play or make an NBA roster. Like, the back end of the second round is kind of like the 7th round. It's different. Those picks in 2033, like, who knows what the landscape is going to look like, the pick swap. Like, I'm not too worried about any of that. Listen, I'm super excited. I don't know if Giannis is going to bring this team a championship in the next 2 years. I would say the betting odds would say he's not, but you just got a top 20 player ever. He's young enough. He's not 37 or 38. He's 31. He's had some injury issues, but when he's healthy, he is a game breaker of game breakers because he does it on both sides of the floor. And I've said this a million times. I'll say it for the 1,000,001st. He fits Miami's culture.
So I have one question before Josh talks.
Yes.
There's none of the assets that were lost that you are overly worried about?
I would have liked to keep one of Yaku Chonis or Khalil Ware. But it's like, what was Khalil Ware's best case scenario? Was he going to be an 18-10 guy on a 35-47 team? Like, what was Jaime Hawk? He was a good 6 man. I thought he should have won 6 man of the year.
But if he were there in Miami now,
yeah,
he would probably be more productive.
Yeah, like he would have played a bench role. He would have been one of like he would have got plays drawn up for him on that second unit in the second quarter and stuff. Same like Yaku Chonis, I feel like has a decently high ceiling, even though he was drafted a little bit older. I would have liked to keep one of them, but I can't quibble about it because the other side of the coin is, well, do you want Giannis or don't you?
Yeah,
and I did, right? So that's how it worked out.
All right, Josh.
When you look at it from like 10,000 feet, the worst that this trade will ever age is Paul George. Except, like, I can only see a world where it turns out better than that trade because they gave up 3 players. They gave up an MVP. They gave up so many unprotected picks in the OKC Paul George trade. I'm saying right now they gave up so much that like it is very hard for me to imagine that this trade will age poorly. Yes, Giannis is on the wrong side of 30 or on the wrong side of 32, I guess.
He's also like, not to cut you off, but I don't know.
He's also way better than Paul George.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. I feel like that part can sort of go without saying. He's won 2 MVPs, a ring, and he's a defensive player of the year. Like, this is, again, a top 20 player in NBA history. Honestly, as long as Bam is able to space out a little bit and Giannis is able to space out a little bit, I think everything will be okay. As long as he can stay healthy and he doesn't have to be the workhorse that he was in Milwaukee for the last few years, because there are guys that he can lean on. And then also, good job to the Heat for getting off of the Tyler Hero contract.
Yeah, and like the next Tyler Hero contract.
Yeah,
because he's got 2 years left on his 4-year, $120 million deal. And they, like I said, they were probably going to have to pay him 5 years, $200 million, because that's kind of the going rate for his type of player. One-time All-Star, really good.
Trae Young just signed a 4-year, $212 million deal,
and they're
that's
actually
basically what Tyler Hero was going to be making here. So I don't know. As I'm not a Heat fan, but everything it sort of shapes up as like things could be a lot worse. They didn't give up a lot of unprotected first-round picks. What are the ceilings of the guys that you traded away? Maybe not, they're not super high, although I'm sure that was the sentiment for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as well. No one knew what he was going to blossom into. So maybe that's Jaime Jaquez Jr. or Khalil Ware. Who knows?
I know it's not.
Okay. But all things considered, I like the Giannis deal for everybody. And 6th seed is also, like, barring injury, probably the worst case scenario as well, because the Heat are not the Milwaukee Bucks. They are coached by a still good coach who can really move on the fly, and they have a great culture, and they're not going to have to be calling second timeouts to make sure that players know what the play is or anything like that. It's going to be ground and pound time from day one when he gets there.
Their defense is going to be scary, but this is my fear. Like, there are going to be some nights where Giannis has 34 and his next leading scorer has 8.
14, I would say.
And like, you look at what that bench unit is going to look like our Pele Larson and Nikola Jovic. Now those are those are the two best scoring options off the bench.
Hey,
Like, I don't love that.
Pele Larson, integral piece to the second best offensive lineup in basketball last year.
Pele Larson, allow me to nerd out for a second. He has this pet move where he kind of hezzies, goes backwards, then gets to the rim. And it's a beautiful move, but he misses the shot every time. Like, he must miss at a 97% clip. It's a beautiful move to beat his defender. This little fake hezzy. He usually does it along the wing, gets to the rim, and then just misses the shot. So that's what I have to look forward to on my second unit. But listen, like, this is, to put this in hockey terms, because we're a hockey market, this is kind of like if Nathan McKinnon's resume, probably actually a better resume than Nathan McKinnon, but like in David Pasternak's situation, that's who just got traded to the team I cheer for.
There you go. Now, that said, it's just the tip of the iceberg, right? Like, the NBA offseason is...
The offseason is about to begin.
Wild.
And guess what? The Heat are located in South Beach.
Not bad.
Not a terrible place to move.
By the
I
way,
hear they got no state tax down there.
By the way, I have a question for both of you. If, just out of the blue, if Connor Hellebuck gets traded to the Florida Panthers, can we get Donovan in here just to get his reaction, or get it on like video phone to play?
Sure. I mean, I would laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. That'd be the funniest outcome to this.
I don't really buy into the narratives that it's only Americans who ask out, though. And that's been a big, point of discussion, brought up point, I should say, on the text. I don't really buy into it.
I think you could say the atmosphere has changed in recent years.
In terms of the NHL landscape as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's the political landscape in the two countries and the differences between the two countries politically that's driving it. But I also think that, people are free to do as they wish. So, I said Brady Tkachuk wouldn't play in Ottawa like in the spring or in the, around the Olympics, because
we were all saying that.
There's just no way, right? You can't go back. So these things occur naturally. And so, like, I don't think that, the storm is coming. No, it's one of the things that occur. And it's like weird stuff impacts sports. The gas crisis in 1974 caused the Oakland Seals to stop playing have a major minor league team in the old WHL. And because of that, they sold off a bunch of their prospects. And one of them was a guy named Charlie Simmer, who ended up being a superstar in Los Angeles. There's no way to predict that. It just happens. So these elements do occur. It's one of the reasons Gretzky got here, because Nelson Scambania was running out of money and he needed some help, and Pocklington had the dough. These things do occur because it's a 32 team, men's club. And so weird stuff happens. And right now, Florida, I mean, they are really smart. And I know it's partly taxes. I know it's this, that, and the other. But Barry Zito is a flat-out genius. And, the Oilers could have hired Barry Zito, and maybe they would have had a different, outcome over the last many years. In fact, I think they would have. But they went a different direction. And that is part of the culture of the Edmonton Oilers that led him to Peter Chiarelli, Ken Holland, and now Stan Bowman. All of these actions occurred, and we are here. So, I mean, I don't blame Tkachuk, and I wouldn't blame Hellebuck either. He'd like to win a Stanley Cup more than anything. If it was available to him, obviously, in Canada, maybe he would go there. All right, on the way, Jason Gregor, thanks so much for tuning in. Lots going on in the world of soccer, football, baseball, obviously. Hockey offseason is wild, as is the NBA. Thanks so much for tuning into the Lowdown. Please enjoy your day.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. For your next move in the Edmonton or area, you can call or text Sean 780-265-0165. That's 780-265-0165. The Buffalo Sabres and Washington Capitals have agreed to a sign and trade for Alex Tuck. Third-round pick will go to Buffalo in the deal. The contract will carry an AAV of $10.5 million and will last the 8 years. World Cup schedule right now. Bosnia and Herzegovina leading Qatar 2-1 at halftime. Switzerland and Canada tied 0-0. Canada can win their group with a draw. Morocco and Haiti at 4, as well as Scotland, Brazil, Czechia, Mexico, and South Africa, South Korea both at 7. MLB scoreboard right now. A rain delay sees the Guardians and the White Sox tied 0-0 in the top of the first, while the Red Sox lead the Rockies 3-1. The Blue Jays will be in action at 5:07 against the Astros. Trey Savage on the bump.